Yesterday, President Trump announced to the nation and the world that prenatal acetaminophen use was associated with autism and ADHD. Well, anytime you get a political figure making announcements to the world, scientific announcements to the world, you got to wonder, what are the motivations? So let me give you the data from the study, and then you can make your own decision on this. Well, the study was released in August of this year by Mount Sinai and Harvard, and they looked at 46 observational studies on women who had used acetaminophen in the prenatal period, that's while they're pregnant, and its association with ADHD and autism. And of the studies, 27 showed positive correlations with autism and ADHD, 9 were null, and 4 actually showed that acetaminophen was protective against ADHD and autism. When they pulled the data, there was a 20 to 35% relative increase in risk of prenatal acetaminophen use with ADHD, and about a 20% relative risk of prenatal acetaminophen use with autism. Absolute risk increases are different. So in ADHD, it was probably about a 2 to 3% risk of developing ADHD. And in autism, it was probably about a 0.5% risk. So a much different story when you look at absolute risks. The author's conclusion and recommendation is that women who are pregnant should limit their use of acetaminophen. And so what you've got now is you've got, half the world saying, yes, never use Tylenol when you're pregnant, which is one of the safest drugs we have in medicine, by the way. And you got the other half of the world saying, no, you should not listen to this, use Tylenol, and it's totally safe. Well, which team do you join? You don't join either of them. You just be skeptical, be aware, be cautious, and make your decisions based on more data. So if my wife was pregnant right now, I'd basically be telling her, hey, let's avoid Tylenol if we can during pregnancy, because we don't know what the right answer is. And it's okay to wait for more data. Tylenol is not essential to life, by the way. It's not like some essential vitamin or anything. So I would say, let's try to avoid Tylenol use during pregnancy. And that's reasonable. You can get criticized from both sides on anything you do here. But I think being cautious, being skeptical is the smart way to go. I'll do a full podcast on this and release it this Sunday. And it'll have all the data broken down perfectly. So look me up. My podcast is called the Dr. Kumar Discovery. It's on any major podcast platform. You'll find me there. And this Sunday I'll release it. And you can make your own decision based on real, honest, unbiased information. Cheers.